Greetings again, tourists. Welcome back to another trip on the comic tour bus. This is your comic tour guide, and we're going to talk about issue 7 of Avengers from 1963's run by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. Now, this doesn't immediately pick up after the first encounter with the Masters of Evil. In fact, it takes place sometime after, and they're in the middle of the Avengers, at least, are in the middle of a meeting regarding Tony Stark's status as an Avenger, because due to previous events in his own title of Iron Man issues 55 through 56, he was missing a lot of meetings, so his attendance was very poor. Mind you, it was just to me. I think his reason was pretty justifiable because his two issues of Iron Man, issue 55 and 56, marked the first appearance of the Mad Titan Thanos, who will later on be one of Marvel's biggest supervillains of all time. You know, anybody who's watched the MCU and seen the Endgame or Infinity War will know as much. Comic book geeks we are, or people we already know. So the final verdict was that, regardless of how important his events might be, he still had to give them any notice or tell them what was going on with his life. So they said, you're suspended for about a week. They dismissed, and then they all went their separate ways. Ant-Man and the Wasp were embarking on a research trip to New England. Iron Man was going to just be either sitting at home or Stark Industries to serve out the rest of his suspension until things panned out. And Thor was returning to Asgard to handle his own affairs there, leaving Captain America and Rick Jones at the mansion, with Captain America mostly training for his next encounter. Between the time that he's returned and since he found out that Baron Heinrich Zemo was alive, that's pretty much been consuming his thoughts. Because once they encounter each other again, he found out that Heinrich Zemo was mostly responsible for Bucky dying during that explosion, or at least at the time, believing so. So his main mission from there is to get revenge for Bucky on Heinrich Zemo. And this was one of those times that wasn't particularly good for him, because on this one occasion, just after he was finished training with a couple strongmen, Rick Jones had the bright idea to wear Bucky's old World War II costume just to get Captain America's opinion on it. Well, with Steve being still pretty very sensitive on the subject, he yelled at the young boy, told him to take it off, and it just brought up the whole thing of like, was a reminder of my failure, and I'll never have a young partner accompany me again, and just strengthen his resolve to go find Baron Zemo. So, cutting from New York or the Avengers Mansion and taking him to Asgard, not by the time that Thor made his way back. The Avengers book introduces two characters that were previously debuted in a Thor adventure during Journey Through Mystery number 103. They were Mora the Enchantress and Scourge the Executioner. Mora was originally created so that Odin could have an immortal or Asgardian mate for Thor, because he didn't approve of his mortal girlfriend, Jane Foster. I mean, it wasn't godly, wasn't Asgardian, wasn't mortal, just didn't approve of her. So he actually enrolled the help of Loki to get the job done. Things didn't pan out, and she felt slighted, so she became a repeated enemy of Thor, while still trying to chase his affections. Now, where does Scourge the Executioner play into it? She was always the lackey slash loyal servant to Mora the Enchantress, while having a very close tie, if not very close affection towards her, as unrequited as that might have been. And during Avengers number 7, this was when Odin finally judged them for attacking Thor and trying to kill him, and saying, "We're going to banish you from Asgard. We're going to do the same thing we did Thor. Different reasons, though. You're just going to go to claim your title and your weapons, and we're going to drop you off the Earth." So as soon as they did, they're already people are already giving them weird looks, because they pretty much look like medieval characters just rolling through New York, and some of them got on Scourge the Executioner's bad side, and he just scared them away. But with more convincing them not to make such a big deal, because they have no information or no knowledge of Earth. They figured, let's go find somebody that knows their stuff that we can team up with to go defeat Thor. And what they will find is they will come across some newspapers that says that Baron Zemo just made his escape away from the States once again from Captain America. And the Enchantress sent an astral projection around the world to find Zemo. After startling him when he made his way back to the Amazon, she made a proposal. If you help us defeat Thor, we'll help you beat Captain America. And he said, Harvey Zero just said, say less. So the main plan was that he would take that Scourge would disguise himself as a man named Heinz Grubervelt and claim to be the second command that we saw distracting the Avengers while Baron Zemo escaped in the last issue in number 6. And just from here on alone, Captain America grips him up and says, tell me where Zemo is. And says, okay, he's back in the Amazon. And just like that, Steve and Rick made a beeline to South America. It would be revealed, takes off the mask, it was Scourge the Executioner. Meanwhile, while Thor was still leaving New York, his eye would catch more of the Enchantress on a random building. But before he can even approach her, she just casts a spell to take control of him. And to make sure that the spell works, she gave him a magic potion to further alter his memories into thinking that the Avengers were the enemies the entire time. So his main target is the Avengers. He's not even thinking about going home anymore. And the first two people that he comes across are Ant-Man and the Wasp, as they're still leaving for New England. And Wasp thinks that, Thor's just come by and forgot something. And Giant Man or Ant-Man immediately just says, we need to shrink right now. Because Thor blows up the airplane. And just as quick as that scuffle starts, Iron Man is watching things on the news, just waiting things out, and he says, suspension or not, my friends need me. I need to hop into the conflict too. In fact, he was the one who ended up snapping Thor out of his trance, and the issue kind of made me chuckle a little bit when Thor pretty much went when he came to, he was like, all right, man, what are you doing here? It's already been a week. Pan back to the Amazon. Captain America lands and is immediately met with resistance from the indigenous slaves of Zemo, but they're no work for him. He maybe gets himself trapped in a pit, comes back out, lays waste, takes their weapons, starts shooting at them until he finds his target, Zemo, who's already escaped, making a beeline out of the Amazon, so who knows where. He manages to get into the aircraft that he's in, and he's moments away from getting his victory until Scourge the Executioner just knocks him out and throws him out the airplane, thus leaving the second wave of the Masters of Evil to escape. But Thor adds a little bit of trouble for them by using Mjolnir to cast some type of space warp spell on the aircraft and send them to another dimension. He said he could either send them to another city or another universe, but they're not getting away easily. Which just leaves the rest of the Avengers to just return back to the United States, preparing for the next battle against the Masters of Evil. And that's Avengers number 7. So next issue we're gonna be talking about King of the Conqueror, or rather his first appearance. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If there's anybody here, I know there's not too many people here yet, but be sure to send any suggestions of what you might want me to cover in this channel. I also have not Facebook and Instagram at the Comic Tour Guide on Instagram. And yeah, hope you guys liked the video, and I'll catch you guys later. Thank you for stopping by the Comic Tour Guide. I'm keeping this. Thank you for stopping by the Comic Tour Bus.